Welcome to 82 Minutes of Pandora Lore. We're covering everything you need to know about the Na'vi, their clans, Pandora's creatures, and the goddess that connects them all before the fire arrives. Starting with Na'vi anatomy. The Na'vi are tall, intelligent beings native to Pandora. Adults stand between 9 and 10 feet tall. Though large, their slim, lightweight build gives them speed, balance, and endurance, ideal for climbing, running, and surviving in Pandora's forests and mountains. And why are the Na'vi so tall? The Na'vi's towering height is largely a product of Pandora's unique environment. The moon's gravity is about 20% lower than Earth's, allowing life forms to grow taller and leaner without overburdening their skeletons. Most Pandoran fauna, thanators, banshees, dire horses, are massive, suggesting the whole ecosystem evolved under these same physical conditions. Na'vi muscles are stronger and more efficient than human muscles. They hold more oxygen and don't tire quickly, allowing for bursts of effort like sprinting, swimming, or leaping. Their muscle fibers are tightly aligned, producing more power with less mass. As Quaritch memorably states in Avatar, Na'vi bones are reinforced with naturally occurring carbon fibers, similar to rebar in concrete. This makes them light but hard to break. It helps them survive falls, high-speed movement, and blunt force impacts that would badly injure a human. Every Na'vi has a long, prehensile tail about 1 meter in length. It helps with balance when climbing trees, crossing branches, or riding large animals. The tail contains a high density of nerve clusters, allowing rapid micro-adjustments in posture and weight distribution. Na'vi skin is dark blue and protects against strong ultraviolet rays from Pandora's sun. It also contains glowing spots called bioluminescent cells, which light up in the dark. These patterns are unique to each individual and help with communication, emotional expression, or maybe even attracting a mate. Na'vi have 4 fingers and toes, each longer and more flexible than a human's. Their wide feet help with grip and shock absorption. Their hands are highly skilled, useful for crafting, hunting, and fine motor tasks. Despite having fewer fingers, their hands are precise thanks to flexible joints and strong tendons. And their internal functions are just as impressive. Their lungs, heart, and digestive systems are all adapted to perform in places where humans struggle to survive. Pandora's atmosphere is toxic to humans because of its high carbon dioxide content and other gases. The Na'vi, however, possess specialized respiratory organs called wichao, which allow them to extract oxygen efficiently from this dense alien air, letting them breathe and thrive where humans cannot. This is something to keep an eye on in Fire and Ash, with Spider's newfound ability to breathe Pandora air looking to be a key plot point. Their lung tissue is flexible and strong, while their blood is able to carry high amounts of oxygen-binding proteins, helping them store and use oxygen efficiently. This lets them swim underwater, climb mountains, and travel long distances without tiring. The Na'vi heart is bigger than a human heart and can shift quickly from resting to intense activity. Their blood vessels are elastic and handle sudden pressure changes, which is especially important for reef-dwelling and Ikran-riding clans. Despite their blue skin, Na'vi blood is red. The fact that the makeup of their blood is distinct from that of humans helps it stay effective even in high-carbon, low-oxygen environments, where a human wouldn't survive for long. Na'vi eat both plants and animals. Their long digestive system allows more time to absorb nutrients from tough Pandoran food. Their liver and pancreas are very efficient and can break down natural toxins that would be deadly to humans. Na'vi can survive on many types of food across different regions, from forests to reefs, without needing to rely on one food source or one environment. Na'vi body temperature is slightly cooler than humans, around 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. This helps them save energy and stay hydrated. Their sweat glands are few but react quickly, and they have special skin cells that help manage heat. In extreme conditions, they can slow their metabolism and stay alert with minimal rest, useful during long hunts or when guarding their territory. Sensory systems. The Na'vi live in a world where danger can come from any direction. Their senses have evolved to be much sharper than ours, helping them track, react, and stay alive in a wild environment. Na'vi eyes are large and forward-facing, giving them binocular vision, ideal for depth perception. Their wide irises let in more light, useful in dark forests. Their eyes also have more rod cells than cone cells, boosting motion detection. They can likely see a wider range of colors than humans, including ultraviolet. Since many Pandoran plants and animals glow in UV light, the Na'vi can see those signals for tracking, navigation, and silent communication. Their pupils adjust quickly to light changes, helping them shift from deep shadow to bright sky in seconds, useful for chasing prey or moving swiftly through trees. Na'vi ears are slightly pointed and flexible. They can turn these ears towards sounds like cats do, giving them accurate 3D hearing. They can hear the direction, distance, and even size of a sound source, like a branch snapping far away. They also hear frequencies above the human range, possibly into ultrasonic levels. This helps them hear animals like banshees or dire horses, which may emit high-pitched signals humans can't detect. It likely helps with bonding and communication during riding. Navi's skin is highly sensitive, especially on the hands, feet, and tail. They can feel small changes in wind or vibration, giving them another layer of awareness. Their tail works like a balancing rod, constantly making small corrections. With help from their inner ear system, they can adjust quickly during running, jumping, or riding. The Navi seem to have a strong awareness of their internal processes, called interoception. This helps them control breathing, heart rate, and posture. Their cultural habits, like meditation and synchronized movement, likely sharpen this even more. They're also highly tuned to changes in their surroundings, like shifting air pressure or patterns of light and sound. This lets them sense approaching danger, weather shifts, or animal movement long before it becomes apparent to a human. What's the most impressive Navi sensory adaptation? Let us know what you think in the comments. Of course, the Navi aren't just perceptive, their minds are built for deep connection. Neural connections. Emotionally and spiritually, they are tied to each other, to the creatures of Pandora, and to something greater. That connection is made possible by the Kuru, a neural braid that links them to the living world around them. Most memorably, we see this in action with Jake in Avatar 2009 when he bonds with his Ikran. The Navi brain is about 25% larger than the human brain compared to body size. Parts of their brain related to senses, memory, and empathy are especially well developed. This gives them strong emotional awareness, sharp instincts, and the ability to bond closely with others. Their thinking is focused more on harmony and intuition than on ego or abstract logic. Still, the Navi show clear signs of advanced intelligence. They speak complex languages, build tools, plan long-term, and understand the natural world in great detail. The Kuru extends from the base of the Navi skull. It looks like a braid of hair, but contains thousands of tiny nerve fibers connected to their nervous system. At the tip are soft, glowing tendrils called neurocilia. These tendrils can physically connect with similar structures in other creatures and plants, creating a real-time electrical and emotional bond. This connection is called Tsaheylu, and it's central to Navi life. They use it to bond with creatures like dire horses and banshees, creating deep, lifelong partnerships. Through Tsaheylu, emotions and instincts are shared instantly. It's unity of identity, where two minds become one. Humans using avatar bodies can make similar connections, but not at the same level. The Navi treat these connections with deep respect, and any outsider who misuses them is crossing a serious line. The Kuru also links Navi to Eywa, a real living network that connects all plant life on Pandora. Under the soil, roots form a massive glowing web that stores biological data. When a Navi connects to sacred places like the Tree of Souls, they can access this network. It allows them to communicate with ancestors, remember the past, and receive spiritual guidance. We see this ritual connection at the Tree of Souls when Jake pleads for help and when Grace is brought to the tree in the first film. This bond is powerful, but fragile. The Kuru can be damaged by injury, infection, or pollution. If destroyed, the Navi may lose the ability to bond and feel emotionally disconnected from the world. And if you've bonded with this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Next up, genetics and reproduction. Navi DNA is similar enough to human DNA that scientists were able to combine the two and create hybrid avatar bodies. Their genes include extra copies of sequences that improve strength, oxygen use, and sensitivity to their environment. Navi gene expression also seems affected by environmental conditions, rituals, and Tsaheylu, the neural bond, which suggests their biology responds to both nature and culture in complex ways. Navi reproduce like humans, with internal fertilization, pregnancy, and live birth. However, their pregnancies last longer, allegedly about 11 to 13 Earth months. Newborns are born with an undeveloped Kuru, which grows stronger as they bond with the world around them. Mating is both physical and spiritual. When two Navi become life partners, they connect their neural braids, forming a lifelong Tsaheylu. In Navi culture, this is sacred and only done with a true mate. Male and female Navi are physically different, though not drastically. Males are usually larger with stronger upper bodies, ideal for hunting and defense. Females tend to be quicker, with better coordination and a slightly higher pain tolerance. useful for childbirth and travel. Na'vi society doesn't divide roles by gender. Both men and women are warriors, teachers, or spiritual leaders depending on skill, not sex. All Na'vi are born with a kuru. The sensitivity of this neural braid can differ from one family to another. Some bloodlines, especially spiritual ones, seem to pass on stronger neural traits, and some believe this sensitivity may increase through generations, as seen in Kiri. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Now to adaptations. While all Na'vi share the same ancestors, their bodies have adapted to the different regions they live in. From dense jungles to open oceans and floating mountains, each clan has evolved to survive among the wildly diverse environments of Pandora, with unique customs, strengths, and secrets. Next, we'll be taking a look at every Na'vi tribe and exploring their role in Pandora's fight for survival. Omatikaya clan. The Omatikaya clan, also called the Blue Flute clan, is the main forest-dwelling Na'vi tribe in Avatar. When we meet them, they live in a giant home tree in Pandora's rainforest. Skilled hunters and fierce warriors, and have tall, slim bodies with long arms and strong legs, perfect for climbing and jumping between trees. Their tail and feet help with balance, and their skin markings are more subtle, helping them blend into shaded forests. Deeply spiritual, they protect the sacred Tree of Souls and hold a respected place among Na'vi. Traditionally, the clan is led by an Olo-Aiktan, meaning the chief, and a Tsahik, meaning shaman. In 2154, this was a Tukan and Moat, but they were succeeded by Jake Sully and Neytiri after the first RDA conflict. Culturally, the Omatikaya revere the forest, live in harmony with nature, and perform rites like the Iknamaya, or Banshee bonding, to become warriors. In Avatar, the Omatikaya are the first clan to meet humans, who they call Sky People. Early interactions were tense. Neytiri initially did not trust the Avatar Jake Sully, but improved when Jake earned their trust. They fought back against the RDA's mining operation and, under Jake as Toruk Makto, united the clans to defeat the RDA at the Battle of the Tree of Souls. Their home tree was destroyed in that war, but they resettled at the Tree of Souls. Later, they led guerrilla strikes against the RDA's return and welcomed some allied humans, paving the way for peaceful coexistence through the Pandora Conservation Initiative. The Omatikaya play a central role in our story across the films and in Na'vi history. Next up is the Metkayina clan. The Metkayina clan are an oceanic Na'vi people introduced in The Way of Water. They live on Pandora's eastern sea reefs, in villages built on mangrove-like trees in sheltered atolls. Physically, the Metkayina are adapted to swimming, with wider chests and stronger arms for swimming. Their tails are flatter and act like fins, and they have webbed hands and feet to move easily in water. The Metkayina show aquatic adaptations, broader chests, widened tails, limb strakes for propulsion, and nictitating membranes for underwater vision. This membrane is clearly visible in Way of Water with Siraya surfacing from beneath the water. The Metkayina and other reef clans can hold their breath for minutes at a time. The cast all had to undergo rigorous underwater breath training in order to convincingly be part of these clans, with Kate Winslet famously able to hold her breath for as long as 7 minutes. Finally, their glowing skin markings are larger and brighter, helping them communicate in deep or murky water. They are skilled reef hunters and fishermen, riding sea creatures like the Elu and forming spiritual bonds with the Tolkien, intelligent whale-like beings. In 2169, the clan is led by Tonowari, the Olo-Aiktan, and Ronal, the Tsahik. In Metkayina culture, tattoos are used to record personal history and status, and they expertly craft ocean tools, like spears tipped with razor shells. In The Way of Water, the Metkayina give refuge to the Sully family when they flee the forest. At first, the newcomers are treated with suspicion, but in time they are accepted, and taught freediving, breathing, and aquatic lore. When the RDA hunts the sacred Tulkuns to weaken the reef clans, the Metkayina stand with Jake's family to fight back. In the final battle, Tonowari and Ronal rally their people and other oceanic clans to defeat the RDA, showing their fierce loyalty and strength. Following the battle, Jake and his family are adopted into the Metkayina, forging a lasting alliance between reef and forest Na'vi. This will not be the last we see of the Metkayina. Now, the Olangi clan, often called the Horse Clan of the Plains, are a nomadic Na'vi tribe who roam Pandora's grasslands. They live in mobile camps and are excellent riders, famous for breeding and riding dire horses, Pali. The Olangi are tight-knit and hardy, hunting large game and forming neural bonds with their Pali through Tsaheylu. They wear leather and tan textiles that blend with the grasses. They trade with neighboring plains and forest clans, exchanging cured meats, leather and crafts for herbs or salvaged metals. Spiritually, they honor the plains creatures and likely visit trees of voices to connect with Eywa. In the first film's events, the Olangi answered Jake Sully's call and joined the Na'vi army to protect the Tree of Souls. Their dire horse charges played a key role in defeating human ground forces. They suffered losses from RDA gunships, and their chief Akwe was killed in battle. After the RDA's defeat, the Olangi returned to their nomadic ways. Manuan clan. Pandora's action will heat up with the introduction of the Manuan clan, also known as the Ash People. They are a secretive Na'vi tribe that's set to star in fire and ash. They may shatter the idea that all Na'vi are good. They live in a volcanic region, likely with ash-gray skin and rugged features from the harsh environment. They are rumored to have scarred neural braids, demonstrating their rejection of Eywa. Led by Vang, the Ash people are hardened by suffering and will do anything to survive, even things other Na'vi see as evil. Rumors suggest they might even adopt human technology and weapons, and attack sacred sites to cut off Eywa's influence. The Ash people appear in the comic The Next Shadow as a haven for Na'vi outcasts who reject Jake Sully's leadership. Their separation from other clans makes them feared and distrusted. In Avatar 3, the Ash people will likely clash with Jake's family and the Metkayina. They might forge weapons from volcanic materials and ride fierce creatures like ash drakes. There are hints they may work with the RDA if it suits them, but they would not be simple villains. They fight for their own survival. Some think the Na'vi see the Ash people as dangerous outsiders, almost like a legend to scare children. Their language and culture may differ, and they might view other clans as weak. Either way, the Ash people will add depth to the story as we learn more about Pandora. Moving on, Talem clan, Wind Traders. Also debuting in Avatar 3 is the Talem clan, known as the Wind Traders, a nomadic Na'vi tribe that lives high in Pandora's skies, traveling on giant flying creatures called wind rays, or medusas, and airships. Creator James Cameron likens them to the camel caravans of the Silk Road, but in the sky. Their name means wind or breeze. Physically, they may have larger lungs or unique breathing techniques for high-altitude life. Their clothing is bright and colorful, adorned with feathers and fabrics that flutter in the wind, described as circus-like. The Talem are known for their cheerfulness and showmanship. They trade exotic goods like spices, sky pearls, and wind instruments in exchange for food and supplies. Their wind rays carry their homes, gondolas or platforms strapped to the creatures' backs, like flying ships. Their leader is Palak, who wears a grand cloak showing his status. The Talem have no fixed territory, but they're welcomed wherever they go. They live in harmony with their sky creatures, protecting them when threatened. They can fight from the air, dropping attacks on enemies. Tyrangi clan. The Tyrangi clan are an island and coastal Na'vi people known as the Ikran clan of the Eastern Sea. They live along Pandora's tropical coastlines and sea cliffs. Led by the strong-willed Oloikte called Akani, legends say the Tyrangi were among the first Na'vi to ride mountain banshees, known as Ikrans, earning them the name Ikran people. They blend sea and sky in their daily lives, fishing from the reefs while roosting banshees on sea stacks. Tyrangi have muscular upper bodies for climbing and riding banshees, but they aren't as specialized for swimming as the Metkayina. They paint themselves in vibrant ocean colors and wear clothes made from woven seagrass, shells, and Ikran leather. The Tyrangi fought in the Battle of 2154, with Ikani leading their attack on RDA aircraft. After the war, the Tyrangi remained mostly isolated on their coast. Tipani clan. The Tipani clan is a forest-dwelling warrior tribe. Their warriors are disciplined and skilled in stealth and guerrilla tactics. Their culture values courage, with young members proving themselves by hunting dangerous predators like thanators or viper wolves and wearing trophies as armor. Despite their warrior spirit, the Tipani also honor wisdom, with elders preserving Na'vi history and songs. The Tipani play a key role in the Avatar video game, which reveals the Tipani were early targets of RDA aggression due to their proximity to Hell's Gate. By the final battle of 2154, they joined Jake Sully's alliance. Human observers noted their use of hammered metal and animal hides as breastplates. Though they suffered losses, they survived the war. Takami clan. The Takami clan made their first appearance in Avatar the Game, and are a reclusive Na'vi tribe living deep in Pandora's equatorial jungle. Renowned for their knowledge of botany, healing, and chemistry, they are sometimes called the Sky Seer clan. Their home, near Kunan territory, is a swampy rainforest rich in medicinal plants and bioluminescent fungi. This peaceful, intellectual clan craft potions, dyes, and remedies from Pandora's flora. Their healers create powerful salves, making them invaluable allies during war. The Takami wear flowers, bright pollen paints, and carry satchels of herbs. They also domesticate small jungle creatures like sprite lizards and glowworms for ingredients and light. Although they prefer isolation, the Takami joined the United Front against the RDA during the assault on the Tree of Souls. The Takami embody the Na'vi's scientific traditions, wise, patient, and in tune with Pandora's secrets, standing in stark contrast to the RDA's exploitative science. Anorai clan. The Anorai clan is a legendary tribe from Pandora's arid deserts. They lived near the Bone Sanctuary, a valley filled with the skeletons of giant Pandoran animals. The Anorai have lean builds and sand-colored striped skin. They wear wraps and shawls for protection against the sun and sand, and rely on hidden springs and caves for shelter and water. Their totem animal is the fierce, elusive Thanator. Anuri jewelry, carvings, and pottery, made from bones, desert wood, and crystals, hold great spiritual value and are highly sought by other Na'vi. The Anurai are rarely seen, and their fate is uncertain. Still, their art survives as a tribute to their lost culture. Kunan clan. The Kunan clan are proud, fearless, and among the most skilled aerial warriors on Pandora. Known as the first tribe to ride Ikran, they live in Pandora's highlands, in foggy mountains and dense jungle near the Takami. Flying is central to their culture. They decorate themselves with feathers and war paint and live in cliffside caves and giant trees. Proud and self-reliant, they hold annual rites where young hunters risk everything to bond with a banshee. Once bonded, a Kunan warrior paints their banshee's wings with unique clan markings. After the RDA's arrival, the Kunan maintained their traditions and avoided direct conflict at first, eventually joining the fight during Jake Sully's uprising. Their skilled banshee riders played a key role in defeating Quaritch's forces from the air. After the war, they retreated to the highlands, rarely seen except at festivals or in times of need. Taui clan. The Taui clan is an oceanic Na'vi tribe from the Eastern Sea, living near the Metkayina. They build villages among mangrove trees and coral shallows. Like their fellow reef people, they have broad tails, strong lungs, and skin patterns that mimic the ripple of water. They live in marui pods over the water and grow ocean gardens of shellfish and seaweed. Taui Na'vi sport elaborate tattoos that mark milestones, like trials, hunts, and children. In the way of water, the Ta'unui's village is attacked by Quaritch's recon unit. Despite torture and threats, they refuse to betray Jake Sully, leading the RDA to kill a sacred Elu as the first threat. Quaritch's unit then burns parts of the village and kills several Na'vi. This shows the Ta'unui's bravery and loyalty. The Ta'unui and Metkayina are close allies, possessing similar dialects and customs, and sharing trade, intermarriage, and festivals. Their ties to the forest clans were distant until the Sully family arrived. Now, they stand united against the RDA, with a deep hatred for the demons who massacred their people. Aronah clan. The Aronah clan is a Na'vi tribe known for their exceptional weaving and textile skills, living in the Kingler Forest on Pandora's western frontier. Their territory, called the Silk Woods, is filled with towering trees draped in silk-like webs from local creatures and glowing plants. The name Aronah suggests spiders or weavers, fitting for a clan that makes fabrics from plant fibers and animal silk. They craft everything from clothing and baskets to tapestries in vivid patterns. Their totem is the Kingler, an arthropod that spins strong golden silk. They often wear flowing garments decorated with painted symbols, and live in giant home trees known as kalutral, which are connected by rope bridges and fiber hammocks. Humans were unaware of the Aronah until the RDA's invasion, and in Frontiers of Pandora, set in the 2160s, the Aronah faced threats from the RDA's forward base. At first, they try to hide by using camouflage and retreating into the forest canopy, but the RDA's machinery disrupts the ecosystem and kills the sacred kingler. This provokes the Aronah into resistance, transforming them from peaceful weavers into guerrilla fighters. Katira clan. The Katira clan is a Na'vi tribe known for their healing knowledge and shamanistic traditions, dwelling in the mysterious clouded forest of the western frontier, a misty, high-altitude jungle rich with medicinal plants and fungi. They look like other forest Na'vi, but may have larger eyes adapted to the dim light, and glowing skin marks for visibility in fog. Their name means Song of the Trees. A subgroup known as the Eywa Kametir live among the spires, gathering rare herbs from the unique microclimate. They brew remedies, perform healing rituals, and hold clan gatherings under a giant whispering great-cap mushroom, believing the spores carry their prayers to Eywa. The Kametir are allies of the Aronah and Hulanta, and they also share spiritual ties with the Omatikaya. They view humans with fear and pity, seeing them as sick in spirit. Hulanta clan. The Hulanta clan is a tribe from Pandora's wetlands and marshes, known for their pottery and weaving. They live in a swampy region of the western frontier, building their wetland homes on stilts, or in giant trees above winding waterways and glowing bogs. The Hulanta have tanned blue skin from the sun and water, and wear light clothes that dry quickly. They're skilled clay workers, making beautiful urns, mosaics, and dyed crafts. They also weave reeds into baskets and mats. Their totem is the Tetrapteron, a small four-winged creature seen as Eywa's messenger. Before the conflict, the Hulanta traded pottery with other frontier clans, but were isolated from the eastern clans. Even in war, they kept their traditions. Women painted clan symbols on dire horses and warriors' armor, while children wove mats in refugee camps. The Hulanta were due to be heavily featured in the cancelled video game Avatar: Reckoning. Zeswa clan. The Zeswa clan, also called Grass Travelers, is a nomadic tribe that roams the upper plains of Pandora's western frontier. They live alongside the giant Zakru, a bison-like animal following the herd's slow migration cycle, moving once per generation. The Zeswa protect the Zakru from predators and harsh weather, using their tents as windbreaks. In return, they get milk for food and drink, and wool for weaving. Their nickname, Wind Traders, comes from their traveling lifestyle and trading habits. The Zeswa are excellent riders, using dire horses on the plains and sometimes flying banshees. Their celebrations feature stylized dance fights, a mix of combat and storytelling. Their camps are decorated with colorful kites that mark migrations, announce festivals, and welcome traders. They also make eerie wind flute arrays that sing in the breeze, honoring fallen Zakru. In Frontiers of Pandora, the RDA's attempts to build routes across the plains force the Zeswa into open conflict. They join the resistance with their cavalry and banshee riders, fighting fiercely with dance-like moves that confuse the enemy. The clan is led by Nasim and her sister Minang. The Zeswa had a close bond with the Sarrenu storytellers and were deeply affected by their loss. After the war, they continued to roam, a living symbol of Na'vi freedom. Sarrenu clan. Also featured in Frontiers of Pandora, the nomadic Sarrenu were Pandora's respected storytellers and oral historians, nearly wiped out by the RDA's brutal invasion. They carried songs and knowledge between clans, aided by their bond with Tarshu plants. These plants would sprout wherever the Sarrenu camped, retaining echoes of voices and memories in their leaves. Because of this, the Sarrenu were known as the Circle of Voices clan, holding regular gatherings called the Circle of Songs to share news and settle disputes. Other clans respected the Sarrenu as neutral peacekeepers and chroniclers. Physically, Sarrenu had a mix of features from different tribes, and they often wore keepsakes from other clans. Tragically, the RDA saw them as a threat, believing their unifying influence could rally all the Na'vi against them. They were lured into a fake peace meeting. There, RDA forces massacred them, leaving only a few survivors. Some children were abducted into the RDA's TAP program to be raised as human loyalists. The loss of the Sarrenu inspired the formation of the resistance in the western frontier. Though gone as a clan, their stories and songs live on through others. Tarshu plants still carry their voices, and at the Tree of Souls, Sarrenu elders' voices advise strength and patience. Tur'ong clan. Last but not least, The Turong clan was a forest-dwelling Navi group that was nearly wiped out during the First RDA War. Their name means Last Shadow of the Forest, as they lived near the Omatikaya's territory. Though small, they were known for their bravery and strong war armor, made from tree resin and salvaged metals. Before humans arrived, they competed in clan contests and sometimes clashed with the Omatikaya over hunting grounds. During the Battle of the Tree of Souls, the Turong answered Jake Sully's call. Tragically, their village was directly in the path of RDA gunships, which destroyed their home tree and killed many before they even reached the battle. Some warriors, men, women, even youth, joined the fight but were overwhelmed by the RDA's firepower. After the battle, the Turong ceased to exist as a clan. Survivors joined other tribes, sharing their armor skills. The Omatikaya held a memorial for them at the Tree of Souls. The Turong's sacrifice became a symbol of unity, inspiring Jake's resistance to name a guerrilla unit after them during the 2170 war. Their ruined village now stands as a sacred reminder of human cruelty, and a vow among the Navi to stand united. Other clans have been hinted at, but these are the ones we know so far. Despite their many differences, they are all one species. Their traits show adaptive plasticity, meaning their bodies can change over time to suit the land. Whether in water, sky, or jungle, the Navi live in harmony with nature, shaped by it, not against it. The Navi are living proof that biology can shape culture, and evolution can create harmony. But with the return of the RDA bound to bring new threats and new divisions, the real question isn't just how the Navi evolved, it's how they'll adapt to survive what's coming next. Of course, the world of Pandora goes much deeper than the Navi. It's a living world, populated by a dizzying array of fantastical creatures, and Fire and Ash is set to add to this incredible bestiary.
We've already seen glimpses of 3 new creatures, the Medusoid and Windray, who together pull the Talem clan's sky caravans, and the fearsome Night Wraith, believed to be a cousin of the Ikran. The Night Wraith is Manuan leader Varang's flying mount of choice. While we wait to see what other weird and wonderful creatures await, here are all the others we've met on Pandora. Great Leonopteryx. Above the jungles, nothing commands more fear than the Great Leonopteryx. Known to the Navi as Toruk, meaning Last Shadow, this enormous flying predator dominates the skies of Pandora from its home in the Hallelujah Mountains. With a wingspan stretching over 25 meters, Toruk is the largest known aerial creature on the moon. Its body is built for speed and power, streaked in vivid crimson, yellow, and black stripes. 4 massive wings propel it through the clouds, while its hooked beak and razor-sharp teeth make short work of any prey below. The Navi fear and revere Toruk. To see the shadow of Toruk pass overhead is to know you are prey, and to see it land is to understand that death has arrived for you. In Navi legends, those who can tame this predator become Toruk Makto, riders of the Last Shadow, destined to unite the clans. Few have ever achieved it. Jake Sully did it once to rally the Navi against the human invaders, but history remembers only a handful of Toruk Makto throughout all the centuries. The Navi call it a sign from Eywa when a rider appears. In the ecosystem, Toruk is an apex predator, feeding on banshees, forest animals, and sometimes even thanators. It nests on remote cliffs, only descending to hunt or during mating seasons. The balance of the skies depends on its rule. For humans, the Great Leonopteryx became a symbol, proof of how little they understood Pandora. For the Navi, Toruk is a living legend, a constant reminder that the wilds of Pandora answer to no one. Akula. If the Tolkien are the soul of Pandora's oceans, the Akula is its nightmare. Known for its brutal speed and unstoppable force, the Akula is the deadliest predator lurking in the deeper waters of the reef. Stretching over 15 meters in length, the Akula is built like a living torpedo. Its body is armored with thick plating, its jaws lined with serrated teeth capable of biting straight through bone. It moves with terrifying speed, able to chase down even the fastest prey in open water. The Akula is a solitary hunter. It stalks the edge of coral reefs, ambushing anything that crosses its path. Elu, young Tolkien, or even reckless humans. It strikes with brute force, delivering devastating bites before disappearing back into the depths. To the Metkayina Navi, the Akula is a force of nature, respected, feared, and avoided. They do not attempt to tame or bond with it. It's a living reminder that Eywa's balance includes predators that must be left alone. Loak, the youngest son of Jake Sully, learned this lesson firsthand when an Akula chased him through the reef after he gets separated from the group. Outsmarting it became a defining moment in his coming of age, but for most, encountering an akula ends in tragedy. A quick reminder, we'll be exploring every corner of the Avatar universe in the lead up to Fire and Ash, so if you want to know more about the akula or any other incredible Pandoran creature, let us know in the comments. Dire Horse. On the open plains and through the thick jungles of Pandora moves one of the most iconic creatures of the Na'vi, the dire horse. Known as Pali, this six-legged herbivore serves as their most reliable land mount. Standing as tall as an elephant and at as much as 6 meters in length, the dire horse is built for speed. It has a long, elegant frame with a smooth, striped hide. Its 6 legs give it incredible balance and agility, allowing it to sprint across dense forests and weave through tangled underbrush with ease. The Na'vi form Tsaheylu with the dire horse, creating a deep bond that lets them guide the animal with thought alone. Hunters rely on dire horses to track prey, clans use them to transport supplies, and warriors ride them into battle. Despite their size, dire horses are peaceful by nature. They travel in herds, grazing on grass and leaves, but when threatened, they can deliver crushing kicks with their powerful legs or stampede in coordinated bursts of speed. Dire horses play a key role when Neytiri teaches Jake Sully to form Tsaheylu and ride for the first time. Jake's swift success in bonding with and riding a dire horse is a turning point, symbolizing his growing connection to Na'vi culture. Later, during the final battle, Na'vi warriors are seen charging into combat on dire horses, highlighting their importance as swift and powerful battle mounts. For the Omatikaya and other forest clans, the dire horse represents loyalty, strength, and freedom. Hammerhead Titanotheer. In the dense forests and glades of Pandora roams one of the most intimidating herbivores ever seen, the hammerhead Titanotheer. Known to the Na'vi as Antse, this 6-legged giant is a living wall of muscle and armor. Standing over 6 meters tall at the shoulder and weighing in excess of 5 tons, the Titanotheer is easily recognized by its massive hammer-shaped head crest. This wide, reinforced plate is used to shove through and clear vegetation, intimidate rivals, and defend against predators. Brightly colored flaps on either side of its head flash vivid warning colors when the beast feels threatened. Despite its herbivorous nature, the hammerhead is famously aggressive. If startled or challenged, it will lower its enormous head and charge with devastating force, capable of flattening trees, human vehicles, and any creature foolish enough to block its path. For the Na'vi, the Titanotheer is a symbol of raw strength and the forest's untamable spirit. They hunted only in times of great need, honoring its sacrifice with songs and ceremonies. During the final battle in Avatar, Jake Sully prays to Eywa for help, and the Hammerheads respond alongside other creatures, saving the day for the Na'vi and reinforcing their cultural importance to the Omatikaya Na'vi as a force of Eywa's will. Skimwing. Among the crashing waves of Pandora's oceans lives a creature built for speed, power, and combat, the Skimwing. Known to the Na'vi as Tsurak, the Skimwing is the riding beast of the reef clans. We see both Jake and Tonawari riding in Way of Water. Measuring up to 14 meters in length, the skimwing looks like a fierce combination of flying fish and predatory eel. Its long, streamlined body is armed with rows of sharp teeth, and its broad wing-like fins allow it to rocket through water at incredible speed. With a flick of its powerful tail, it can launch itself from the sea, gliding for long distances above the waves before diving back beneath the water. The Metkayina clan prizes the skimwing as a warrior's mount. Unlike the gentle Elu, bonding with a skimwing is a challenge of dominance. Only the strongest and most determined Na'vi can tame one, forming Tsaheylu and earning the right to ride it across open oceans and into battle. In times of conflict, the skimwing is the Metkayina's fastest weapon, used to patrol their territory, hunt dangerous sea creatures, and fight human threats. In the Way of Water, Jake Sully himself learns to ride a skimwing, proving himself worthy to the reef people in the process. Fan lizard. Among the glowing roots and streams of Pandora's rainforest, one small creature never fails to catch the eye, the fan lizard, known to the Na'vi as Kenton. At first glance, it appears as a simple, palm-sized lizard with smooth skin and subtle stripes, but when startled, it performs one of the most dazzling displays in the forest. The fan lizard unfurls a brilliant circular membrane from its back, glowing with vibrant bioluminescent colors, and spins rapidly like a living frisbee, launching itself into the air to escape predators. This defensive flight is brief but spectacular. In the dense forest, it helps the fan lizard avoid becoming prey to larger animals like viper wolves and stingbats. It feeds on insects and nectar, clinging to tree trunks and basking near bioluminescent plants. The beauty of the fan lizard is hard to miss, as Jake noticed in the first film when he taps one and it flies off spinning. Wood Sprite. Floating silently through the jungles of Pandora is a creature unlike any other, the wood sprite or a tokarina. Though it appears small and fragile, it holds a power that goes to the very heart of Na'vi culture. A wood sprite is the seed of the Tree of Souls, the most sacred site to the Na'vi. It looks like a glowing, delicate jellyfish drifting on the air with fine white tendrils trailing beneath it. Bioluminescent and weightless, it glides effortlessly through the forests, often gathering near places where Eywa's presence is strongest. To the Na'vi, the wood sprite is a pure spirit. It is said to carry the voices of ancestors and to be Eywa's messenger. If a wood sprite chooses to land on you, it is seen as a sign of great importance, marking the individual as chosen or blessed by Eywa. Jake Sully's first connection to the Na'vi began with a flock of wood sprites landing on him. This occurs shortly after a single Atokarina lands on Neytiri's arrow, convincing her to spare Jake's life. During the most sacred rituals, like the transfer of Jake's consciousness seen at the end of the first film, these glowing seeds gather, symbolizing Eywa's guidance and the presence of past generations. Anemonid. Anemonids resemble large tropical flower stalks with flexible petal-like appendages that react to nearby movement. Their colors range from soft coral tones to bright violet and blue, with bioluminescent streaks that glow faintly at dusk. Despite appearing rooted, these organisms are highly reactive, bending, curling, or recoiling when disturbed. Jake Sully discovers this during his first night alone in the forest in Avatar. As he moves through the undergrowth, the organisms recoil into their stalks with a sharp, fluid motion as Jake brushes past them. The scene highlights their magneto-nastic sensitivity, likely responding to the metal of his gear and weapon. What sets anemonids apart from ordinary plant life is their unique metal-based nutrition. Instead of absorbing typical minerals like nitrogen or phosphorus, anemonids draw in metal elements from the soil, including trace amounts of unobtainium. This adaptation gives them a rare ability. They respond visibly to magnetic fields. To the Na'vi, anemonids are sensitive forest sentinels. While not dangerous, they are treated with caution and respect. Their subtle movements help hunters detect the presence of nearby RDA soldiers, who often trigger their magnetic responses unknowingly. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of Avatar. Daisy Anemone. In the shimmering lagoons and reef gardens of Pandora, beauty disguises danger in the form of the carnivorous daisy anemone, a colorful, bioluminescent invertebrate that anchors itself to rock or coral surfaces, while its trailing tendrils conceal a powerful sting, capable of paralyzing small fish. Larger swimmers are wise to keep their distance. Like anemonids, daisy anemones are sensitive to magnetic fields. When nearby metal is detected, such as an RDA tool or piece of equipment, the anemone slowly turns toward it. In Avatar, The Way of Water, daisy anemones briefly reveal their more aggressive potential. During a skirmish in the reef, Kiri uses her connection to Eywa to command nearby anemones, causing them to wrap around and disable RDA soldiers underwater. This moment is one of several that proves even the smallest, most beautiful organisms can become weapons when Eywa calls them. Ikran. The Ikran, known to humans as the mountain banshee, features across both Avatar films. In Avatar, Jake Sully's bonding with an Ikran marks his acceptance into the Omatikaya clan and his true commitment to Pandora's way of life. The Ikran becomes his personal mount, crucial in battle against the RDA. In The Way of Water, although the focus shifts to the sea and Metkayina culture, the Ikran remains central to the Sully family's identity, symbolizing their roots with the Omatikaya. Neytiri continues to ride her bonded Ikran, using it in combat and transport, reminding viewers that no matter how far they travel, their bond with the sky and the traditions of the forest endure. With a wingspan stretching nearly 12 meters, the Ikran is built for speed and precision flight. 4 powerful wings allow it to glide effortlessly through turbulent winds, while its streamlined body and sharp, beak-like jaws make it a deadly aerial hunter. Its vibrant skin glows with unique patterns of bioluminescence, no two Ikran ever looking exactly alike. Young Na'vi must bond with an Ikran through Tsaheylu in a dangerous ceremony known as Iknamaya. This life bond is permanent, creating a partnership that lasts a lifetime. Ikran hunt small animals, fish, and occasionally other aerial prey like stingbats. Their fierce independence means they only bond with one Na'vi, and only after a battle of wills where the Na'vi must prove their worth. Sturmbeast. Next up is the Sturmbeast, seen during Jake Sully's initiation hunt. The Sturmbeast, called Talyoang by the Na'vi, is a symbol of raw power. Standing over 4 meters tall with a muscular 6-legged frame and a prominent forward-curving horn, it resembles a bison built for battle. Sturmbeasts move in large herds, stampeding as a defense against predators and threats, capable of crushing vehicles and knocking down trees. In the battle for the Tree of Souls, they answered Eywa's call and turned their fearsome power against the RDA's AMP suits. For the Na'vi, the Talyoang is hunted rarely and with reverence, providing essential resources like meat and hide. Their thundering charge has made these storm beasts infamous among RDA researchers. The Sturmbeast appears for a little longer in the extended cut of the first film and in the 2009 video game. Slinger. Deep within Pandora's shadowy swamps, where the roots knot and the waters run still, stalks the Slinger, or Lanaika, a creature known for its lethal precision. This 6-limbed predator lies in ambush, perfectly camouflaged in the murk, waiting motionless for hours. Its signature weapon is a harpoon-like tongue tipped with a venomous spike, capable of striking prey at lightning speed from a distance. Rather than pursue, it impales prey from afar, dragging them into the muck to feed. To the Na'vi, the Yanaika embodies the dangers of complacency, a silent killer hiding just beyond sight, teaching hunters that in Pandora's swamps, the most dangerous threats are the ones you never hear coming. The Slinger is featured in Avatar, an activist survival guide, 2009, and the Avatar Rites of Passage comic series, 2019, where it is depicted as a feared ambush predator in the dense swamps. Though not seen in the films, it remains a canon part of Pandora's ecosystem in the expanded universe. Gill mantle. In the clear waters of Pandora's shallow reefs drifts one of the most remarkable symbiotic creatures, the gill mantle, or Tkampi in the Na'vi tongue. With its translucent, membrane-like body and flowing tendrils, it glows softly beneath the waves, pulsing with bioluminescent light. When placed over the face, it forms a living breathing mask, extracting oxygen from the water and allowing Na'vi to remain submerged far longer than natural breath-holding permits. For the Metkayina clan, the gill mantle is a daily companion, used in hunting, exploration, and sacred rites.
Avatar: The Way of Water shows Kiri using one
To connect with the underwater spirit tree, highlighting its role not just in survival, but in spiritual connection. Small and gentle, the gill mantle symbolizes Pandora's delicate balance, where even the tiniest creature plays a vital role in sustaining life. And don't forget to like and subscribe as we cover every corner of Pandora in the lead-up to Fire and Ash.
Thanator. Featuring prominently in Avatar, the Thanator is not just the most feared creature on Pandora, it's nature's version of a perfect predator. Known to scientists as a hypercarnivore and to the Na'vi as the Palulukan, or dry-mouth bringer of fear, this 6-legged nightmare rules the rainforest floor. It stands taller than a human, stretches over 5 meters long, and weighs several tons. Its sleek black skin blends perfectly into the dense jungle, while rows of bioluminescent markings shimmer in the dark, warning anyone brave or foolish enough to look directly at it. Its mouth is a weapon of pure destruction. Dozens of serrated teeth can rip through flesh and bone in seconds. 10 sensory quills fan out from the back of its head, able to detect heat, sound, and the slightest movement in the air. With 4 piercing eyes and a crushing bite force, the Thanator doesn't hunt. It dominates. Jake was right to run as fast as he could from it. Even the Na'vi clans, who live in complete harmony with nature, fear the Thanator. They tell stories of it as a spirit of death. Neytiri herself warned Jake Sully to stay away, knowing that even the most skilled warriors keep their distance. During the events of Avatar, the Thanator was an omen. It chased Jake through the jungle, turning his first journey into a brutal survival lesson. Yet in the climax of the battle for Pandora, it was a Thanator that Neytiri rode into war, a shocking moment which felt like Eywa herself sent the deadliest predator to fight alongside the Na'vi. Tulkun. Beneath the waves of Pandora swims a creature larger, older, and more intelligent than anything on land or in the sky. The Tulkun, colossal marine beings worshipped as spirit brothers and sisters by the Na'vi, are the heart of the ocean. Measuring over 25 meters long, some Tulkun even grow to 80 meters, dwarfing the largest whales on Earth. Their sleek bodies glide effortlessly through Pandora's vast oceans, decorated with swirling bioluminescent patterns that light up the deep. Beneath their thick and calloused skin is a gentle giant with unmatched intelligence. They have names, they have language, and they have culture. They create songs, share histories, and bond with the Na'vi in a way no other creature does. The Metkayina clan, who live by the reef, hold sacred friendships with individual Tulkun, treating them not as beasts but as equals. We see this in Way of Water when Loak befriends Paya Khan, seeing him as a kindred spirit as they are both outcasts at that point of the story. But the Tulkun's story is not one of peace alone. Long ago, they fought wars amongst themselves before choosing a life of strict pacifism. They refuse to kill, even in defense. It is their greatest strength and their greatest tragedy. Humans hunt them for a golden fluid inside their frontal lobe cavity called amrita, a substance worth millions for its anti-aging properties. During the events of Avatar: The Way of Water, this brutal whaling ignited conflict between the Na'vi and the human invaders once again. The Tulkun represent everything Pandora stands for: beauty, intelligence, and balance, constantly under threat from greed. Elu. In the shallow coastal waters of Pandora, one creature stands out for its speed, grace, and connection to the Na'vi: the Elu. To the Metkayina people, the Elu is a trusted companion and vital partner in daily life. The Elu is featured heavily in The Way of Water in scenes involving swimming lessons, training, and playful underwater exploration. Measuring around 6 to 8 meters in length, the Elu resembles a sleek plesiosaur with two large wing-like fins that allow it to glide effortlessly through the water. Its skin shimmers in hues of blue and teal, lined with glowing bioluminescent stripes that flash as it darts between reefs. Unlike the ferocious predators of the deep, the Elu is social, friendly, and highly intelligent. It travels in pods, using clicks and squeaks to communicate. Through the sacred bond of Tsaheylu, the Metkayina connect their cues directly to the Elu, riding them through the sea. Elu are used for hunting, fishing, and travel. Young Na'vi learn to ride them at an early age, mastering the currents and waves. Despite their gentle nature, Elus are no easy catch for predators. They are incredibly fast and agile, able to outmaneuver most threats, including the terrifying Akula. For the Metkayina, the Elu symbolizes harmony with the sea. It's a creature of freedom, joy, and partnership. This makes it all the more devastating in The Way of Water when Quaritch and his recombinant team, as part of a wider raid, kill one when trying to extract information from the Ta'unui clan as to the Sully family's whereabouts. Viper Wolf. When darkness falls over Pandora's jungles, the viper wolf, known to the Na'vi as Nantang, emerges from the undergrowth. Sleek, fast, and deadly, these six-legged predators are masters of the night. Viper wolves are about the size of a large dog but built for speed and stealth. Their black hairless skin allows them to blend seamlessly into the shadows, while stripes of faint green bioluminescence ripple along their bodies, pulsing as they move through the brush. Their two pairs of sharp, glowing green eyes grant them exceptional vision in the dark. Viper wolves are pack hunters. They communicate with clicks, snarls, and tail signals, coordinating complex attacks on prey much larger than themselves. They are fearless in numbers, capable of taking down creatures as big as hexapedes, and even confronting much larger threats when provoked. Despite their fearsome nature, the Na'vi respect the viper wolf for its cunning and teamwork. Omatikaya stories teach young hunters that to understand the Nantang is to understand the forest itself. When a viper wolf pack goes silent, it's a warning. A greater predator is nearby. In the first Avatar film, Jake Sully is ambushed by a pack of viper wolves after becoming separated from his group, only surviving thanks to Neytiri, who intervenes by killing two of the predators and driving the rest away with fire. Earlier in the film, Neytiri also uses the sudden silence of the forest, including the quieting of viper wolves, as a warning sign of a greater threat nearby, demonstrating how the Na'vi interpret animal behavior to sense the presence of more dangerous predators like the Thanator. Hexapede. Among the towering trees and glowing plants of Pandora, few creatures are as graceful and peaceful as the hexapede. Called Yerik by the Na'vi, this six-legged herbivore is a common sight in the forest's clearings and riverbanks. Standing just over 2 meters tall, the hexapede has a lean, deer-like body with smooth blue skin marked by striking yellow stripes. Its most distinct feature is the delicate fan-shaped crest on its head, which it can flare open when alarmed to appear larger and more threatening. Hexapods live in small herds, grazing on leaves, grass, and fruits. They are cautious by nature, relying on sharp senses and agility to evade predators, primarily viper wolves and thanators. When disturbed, their herds scatter quickly, zigzagging through the forest with incredible speed. For the Na'vi, the yerrick holds special importance. It is often the first animal a young hunter must track and take down during their rite of passage, not because it's dangerous, but because it teaches patience, respect, and the responsibility of taking life only when necessary. Neytiri's first hunting lesson to Jake Sully was with the hexapede, showing him how the Na'vi honor every life they take. She taught him the ritual of thanking Eywa after taking its life. This is part of his rite of passage and symbolizes learning Na'vi ways. Prolomurus. In the upper rainforest canopy of Pandora lives one of the most agile and playful creatures in the ecosystem, the Prolomurus. Known to the Na'vi as Siakshu, this small, primate-like animal fills the forest with life and movement. About the size of a small monkey, the Prolomurus is seen briefly during Jake Sully's first night alone in the forest. Sensing impending danger before he does, the creature stands out with its unique anatomy. 4 arms split from 2 primary upper limbs, giving it incredible flexibility and control while swinging between branches. It has a slender body, bright blue skin with orange stripes, and a long prehensile tail for balance. The Prolomurus lives in family groups, feeding on fruit, leaves, and insects. With keen eyesight and quick reflexes, it darts through the treetops using gliding membranes to leap short distances between the giant jungle trees. Though harmless to the Na'vi, the Siakshu is rarely caught. It moves too quickly, vanishing into the foliage at the first sign of danger. For the Na'vi, the Prolomurus is a symbol of joy and freedom. Children imitate its jumps, and its image appears in song chords as a reminder to live with lightness and curiosity. To outsiders, it might seem like a small, insignificant animal, but on Pandora, the Prolomurus is an essential piece of the forest's living web. Stingbat. As the twin moons rise and the rainforest slips into darkness, a new predator emerges overhead, the stingbat, called Reedy by the Na'vi. Small, fast, and always hunting, these flying creatures rule the twilight hours. The stingbat makes only the briefest appearance in the first film, fluttering in the background during Jake's early jungle scenes. They also feature in a deleted scene, where one meets a nasty demise at the hands of one of Quaritch's men. They also appear in the survival guide and the 2009 video game. With a wingspan roughly the size of a house cat and 2 pairs of wings, stingbats are built for quick darting movements. Their leathery skin is dark with faint bioluminescent streaks along their sides. Most distinctive of all is their long barbed tail tipped with a venomous stinger. Stingbats are pack hunters. At dusk, they swarm out of hidden roosts in the trees, using high-pitched clicks to communicate and echolocate. Stingbats are a nuisance, but also a warning. Their appearance signals it's time to stay close to the village and avoid wandering alone. For the predators of Pandora, the stingbat is an easy snack for the larger Ikran and Thanator. Nalutsa. Deep in the coastal waters of Pandora, beyond the safety of the coral reefs, swims a predator both feared and seldom seen, the Nalutsa. Described by the Metkayina as a lurking terror of the shelf zone, this monstrous predator combines the flexible stealth of an eel with the brutal jaws of a crocodile. Needle-like teeth, a whip-like tail, and pulsing bioluminescent stripes help it strike fast and vanish into the depths. Preying on reef creatures and unwary swimmers, the Nalutsa is whispered about in cautionary tales, symbolizing the lurking dangers of the open sea. While beings like the Tulkun are cherished kin, the Nalutsa remains an untamed force of Eywa's balance, a reminder that not all life on Pandora offers friendship. The Nalutsa appears in the Pandora Flight of Passage attraction and is referenced in official materials. Arachnoid. Beneath the gnarled roots and bioluminescent undergrowth of Pandora's rainforests lurks one of its most infamous predators, the arachnoid, or Kalawea. About the size of a dinner plate, this 6-legged scorpion-like creature blends into the jungle shadows, its armored shell glinting under the glow of Eywa's living world. With razor-sharp pincers and a curved, venomous tail, the arachnoid strikes with lightning speed, ambushing prey from beneath fallen logs and rocky crevices. While its venom is feared for the pain it inflicts, the Na'vi revere it in a different way, extracting controlled doses during the sacred Unaltaran rites to trigger visions and connect with their ancestors. The arachnoid is briefly referenced when Grace Augustine warns Jake Sully about a stinger during his first jungle walk. Forest Banshee. In the dense rainforests of Pandora flies the forest banshee, or Ikrane, a smaller, more agile cousin of the mountain Ikran. Adapted for life beneath the jungle canopy, it has muted colors for camouflage and narrower wings for maneuvering through thick foliage. The icrane hunts birds, rodents, and insects, nesting high in the trees. Unlike their mountain relatives, they are not ridden by the Navi, but are respected as wild spirits of the forest. Their piercing calls are seen by the Navi as natural warnings of predators or disturbances, serving as part of Eywa's balance in the lowland jungles. The forest banshee is briefly mentioned in an activist survival guide and seen in Avatar, the game, but has not appeared in the main films, making it part of Pandora's expanded lore. Slinth. Found along the perilous cliffs of Pandora, the slinth is a deadly ambush predator, known to the Anorai clan as the Shadow on the Cliffs. With 6 powerful limbs, lean muscle, and dark striped skin blending perfectly with rocky outcrops, the slinth strikes swiftly from cover. It hunts alone, favoring quick, brutal takedowns of prey along narrow ledges. Feared and respected, it appears in Navi folklore as a test of a hunter's vigilance. Featured in Avatar, Rites of Passage, the slinth reminds all travelers that even in Pandora's heights, predators rule. Tsaheylu. The Tsaheylu lives in the soil of the forests, a small but essential creature in the Navi way of life. About the length of a Navi forearm, the Tsaheylu is a segmented, worm-like invertebrate with a soft body that glows with faint bioluminescence. It burrows through the earth, breaking down decaying vegetation and contributing to the forest's natural cycle of life and renewal. For the Navi, the Tsaheylu is more than just part of the ecosystem, it's a prized delicacy. Highly nutritious, with a sweet, nutty flavor when roasted, the Tsaheylu is a staple protein source. Omatikaya children are taught to forage for Tsaheylu at a young age, learning both practical survival skills and respect for Eywa's bounty. Roasting Tsaheylu over open flames is a common practice, especially during communal meals and celebrations, where the juicy insects pop when cooked. The Tsaheylu appears in Avatar during a memorable bonding moment, when Neytiri offers Jake Sully a roasted Tsaheylu, introducing him to Navi food and culture. The activist survival guide also details the Tsaheylu's ecological role, highlighting it as a key example of the importance of even the smallest life forms within Eywa's balance. We've seen Eywa defeat the RDA, we've seen her command the oceans, but can the All-Mother survive fire? Here is everything you need to know about Eywa before everything burns. Origins and nature. Eywa exists on 2 levels. She is a spiritual deity worshipped by the Navi and a literal biological network verified by human scientists. In Avatar 2009, Dr. Grace Augustine noted that the roots of Pandora's trees form electrochemical connections like synapses between neurons, describing the forest as a network of energy with more connections than the human brain. In other words, the forest and the entire biosphere behaves as one integrated system with a unified consciousness. Every tree transmits signals through its roots, and the Navi tap into this network using their neural cues through a process called Tsaheylu. When Neytiri makes Tsaheylu with her Ikran, both become part of Eywa's larger system. To the Navi, Eywa is far more than biology. She is their deity, the beginning and end of all souls. The Navi say, all energy is only borrowed and one day must be returned to Eywa. Life and death are parts of a great cycle flowing through her. Upon death, the Navi believe their consciousness doesn't vanish. Eywa stores it. The individual wills and memories are kept in a biological database within Pandora. The living can commune with ancestors through sacred trees, as when Jake encountered Grace's consciousness within Eywa in Avatar, and then when Kiri spoke with Grace's spirit at the Metkayina spirit tree in Way of Water. Eywa is the guiding force who defends life itself but won't protect one group over another. As Moat says, our Great Mother does not take sides. Eywa's purpose is maintaining ecological balance. She may allow destruction in order to restore equilibrium. An early script draft of Avatar stated she protects all life and the balance of life. To protect that balance, death is necessary. She is quite literally Mother Nature. The 3 laws of Eywa. The graphic novel Avatar: The High Ground introduces the 3 laws of Eywa. These forbid the Navi from setting stone upon stone, using the turning wheel, and mining metal from the ground. In other words, Eywa's laws prevent the Navi from following humanity's destructive technological path. In the high ground, Neytiri is troubled when Jake trains Navi hunters with shotguns. This violates Eywa's law against metal weapons. Jake undergoes a cleansing ritual each time he uses his rifle. He pulls against ropes that pierce his skin to atone for handling the poison of metal technology. Not all clans follow these laws, though. The Manuan clan, the Ash people appearing in fire and ash, do not worship Eywa. Eywa's authority isn't absolute across Pandora, yet her power runs through all of Pandora, and she is capable of intervening in conflicts when the survival of Pandora is at stake. Are you looking forward to seeing more of Eywa in Fire and Ash? Tell us what you think will happen in the comments. Avatar 2009. In the original Avatar film, Eywa's influence is subtle until Jake forces her hand. Early in the story, wood sprites descend upon Jake Sully. Neytiri prepared to kill Jake as an intruder, but she interprets a single wood sprite landing on her bow as a sign from Eywa to spare him. Dozens of glowing Atokarina later alight on Jake, prompting Neytiri to bring him to her clan. Eywa's role becomes much more dramatic during the climactic battle. After the RDA devastates Home Tree, Jake seeks Eywa's help. At the Tree of Souls, Jake prays, asking Eywa to look into Grace Augustine's memories of Earth's ruin. He pleads, "If Grace is with you, look into her memories, see the world we come from. There's no green there. They killed their mother, and they will do the same here." Jake addresses Eywa not as an abstract force, but as an entity who can receive information and respond. The film then confirms Eywa heard him. In the final battle, just as the Na'vi face defeat, Eywa intervenes. She mobilizes Pandora's wildlife. Dire horses, viper wolves, banshees, and a Thanator all join the fight, savaging the RDA forces. Thanks to Eywa, the Tree of Souls is protected, and the Sky People are expelled from Pandora. Eywa's intervention proves her role as protector of planetary balance, but only when gravely threatened. Following the battle, Jake undergoes the consciousness transfer ceremony. The Omatikaya implore Eywa to take Jake's human mind and implant it permanently into his avatar body. Eywa permits it. Jake becomes permanently Na'vi, proving her power to upload and download consciousness. However, despite possessing such powers, Eywa does have her limits. Eywa's limits. Avatar The High Ground expands on Eywa's limitations. In 2168, a year before the events of The Way of Water, the RDA launches an invasion from space, leading Jake to launch a preemptive strike in orbit. The Na'vi call space the Black World because it lies beyond Eywa's reach. The Na'vi feel profound dread leaving Pandora's biosphere. One character speculates that being cut off from Eywa's neural network could be life-threatening for a Na'vi. Just as corals die when separated from symbiotic algae, a Na'vi isolated from Eywa might suffer grave effects. The Na'vi feel their souls and very existence are spiritually and literally bound to their world. The Way of Water, 2022. The second film develops Eywa's portrayal through Kiri, a teenage girl mysteriously born from Grace Augustine's avatar. Kiri's origin is an enigma. Grace's avatar was found pregnant with no known father, a possible immaculate conception. The implication is that Eywa facilitated Kiri's birth, a theory reinforced by Kiri's extraordinary connection to Pandora. She exhibits an ability to bond with and control creatures and plants. Bioluminescent flora respond to her emotions, hundreds of glowing fish swirl in unison at her command, and a daisy anemone entangles a hostile attacker who is threatening her. These acts can only be explained by an intimate link to Eywa's consciousness, making Kiri a bridge between nature and the Na'vi, a child of Eywa in a spiritual and possibly a literal sense. The film also shows Kiri connecting to the Metkayina clan's spirit tree underwater and encountering Grace's consciousness. In a vision, Kiri speaks with Grace's spirit, who appears as she was in life. Eywa has stored Grace's mind. When Kiri asks about her biological father, Grace is overcome with pain and cannot answer. Kiri then suffers a violent seizure. The scene proves that Grace's memory remains intact within Eywa. It also hints that some memories remain off-limits. Delving into Kiri's origins triggers a dangerous reaction. Kiri's bond with Eywa surpasses that of other Na'vi. She senses Eywa's presence in everything, describing it as feeling the heartbeat of the world. Bioluminescent plants light up in sync with her breathing. Norm Spellman and others are baffled by Kiri's ability to connect with Eywa without needing a sacred site, giving earthbound scientific explanations, classic frontal lobe epilepsy, for what appears to be a profound spiritual connection. By film's end, Kiri embraces her power. She calls upon Eywa in the final battle, unleashing marine creatures on enemies. She requests Eywa's aid, and it immediately arrives. Remember, the only other time this happened was with Jake. Kiri functions as a direct line to Eywa's will, more potent than a Sahik. Sacred manifestations, trees of souls and spirit. Eywa manifests through Pandora's ecology and the sacred sites where the Na'vi interact with her. The Tree of Souls, Vitraya Ramunong in Na'vi, is the most sacred place on Pandora. This giant willow-like tree has a massive neural root structure directly connected to Pandora's network. Its tendrils glow with bioluminescence and neurotransmitter-rich fibers. The Omatikaya describe it as Eywa's tongue or voice. a place where Eywa's consciousness directly communes with the people. Grace hypothesized the Tree of Souls is like Eywa's main brainstem, given its density of connections and strong magnetic anomalies. Through the Tree of Souls, the Na'vi performed sacred rituals. Grace's attempted resurrection and Jake's consciousness transfer involved the entire clan linking into the tree. During ceremonies, the Na'vi enter trances and see visions. Jake described seeing infinity and felt Eywa's presence encompassing him. From above, the tree's radiating pattern resembles a great eye. The eye of Eywa that souls must pass through, as Moat describes. The Tree of Souls is where clans upload collective prayers in crisis. When the Omatikaya gather, their unity and the tree's power let them speak directly to Eywa. Eywa answers. The glowing tendrils pulsate. The ground and flora respond with light and movement. If the Tree of Souls were destroyed, the Na'vi would lose their most sacred link to Eywa. Beyond the Omatikaya forest, spirit trees serve other clans. In the way of water, the Metkayina clan's spirit tree can be found underwater in the Cove of the Ancestors. This tree has ribbon-like fronds that seem to open and close with the rhythm of the sea. When the Metkayina connect via their cues, the tree provides oxygenated water through the bond, allowing them to stay underwater. Eywa actively nurtures her children, physiologically supporting them during communion. The Metkayina experience visions and speak with spirits of loved ones at this site. Given its strong magnetic and flux properties, the underwater spirit tree is thought to sit above a large unobtainium deposit. Protecting it is as vital to reef people as the Tree of Souls is to forest Na'vi. The future. Eywa in Fire and Ash. In Avatar Fire and Ash, Eywa faces her greatest test. The Manuan clan, the Ash people, are a Na'vi clan that completely rejected Eywa. The Manuan once lived like the Omatikaya in rainforests around a giant home tree until a massive volcanic eruption obliterated their home. The catastrophe turned their land into a charred wasteland, killing their home tree and almost all life. This became the crucible that forged their identity. The Manuan grew embittered, nihilistic, and disconnected from Pandora's life force. It's believed that they may even sever their neural cues, physically destroying their spiritual connection to Eywa. At the heart of the Manuan stands Varang. Unlike previous Na'vi embodying warmth or wisdom, Varang has let her grief curdle into fury. She is the first true Na'vi villain we have seen. In the trailer, we see Quaritch arriving at Manuan territory. Presumably, this is their first meeting, suggesting the prospect of an alliance. For Eywa, this partnership is an unprecedented threat. Not just humans attacking from outside, but Na'vi themselves, her own children, turning against her. Eywa's immune response worked against humans in exopacks. It partially worked against recombinants as well, until they evaded detection. But how will Eywa respond to true Na'vi warriors who actively seek her destruction? The most chilling moment comes when Varang has Kiri restrained, kneeling before her. Varang delivers the line, "Your goddess has no dominion here." This encapsulates the ideological war at Fire and Ash's heart. Varang doesn't just reject Eywa, she denies her power entirely. In the volcanic wasteland where the Manuan live, Eywa's network is truly weakened and maybe even absent altogether. In dead zones where new life cannot grow, perhaps Eywa cannot reach. Perhaps Kiri represents Eywa's direct response. If Kiri truly is Eywa's child, born through Eywa's will, then she is Eywa incarnate in a way no other Na'vi has been. Kiri's confrontation with Varang will then be a clash between faith and nihilism, between connection and severance. Kiri's destiny and Eywa's plan. If the speculation is correct, and Kiri truly is Eywa's child, conceived without a biological father, then her existence is potentially a manifestation of Eywa's long-term strategy. Grace proved Eywa's existence through science. She was the bridge between human understanding and Na'vi spirituality. When she died and her consciousness was absorbed into Eywa, all that knowledge became part of Eywa's collective memory. Perhaps Eywa recognized the human threat wouldn't end with the 2154 war. She saw humans would return, more prepared and dangerous. She understood that to protect Pandora's balance long-term, she needed an agent who could understand both worlds. So we have a child who communes with Eywa without sacred sight, who controls Pandora's creatures with a thought, a child who carries the knowledge of a human scientist and the power of Eywa herself. Maybe Kiri's seizure at the spirit tree was Eywa trying to upload too much information too quickly. Kiri's mortal brain wasn't ready to handle it yet. In Fire and Ash, Kiri is a little older, more experienced, more able to channel Eywa's power. She is more capable of handling threats than ever before, and Eywa is with her. From Jake's first prayer at the Tree of Souls to Kiri's confrontation with Varang, every major moment in Avatar history flows through Eywa. She answered prayers. She stored memories. She mobilized entire ecosystems for war. And now she faces her greatest challenge, the rogue Na'vi that reject her entirely. Do you think Eywa will succeed in her mission in Avatar Fire and Ash? Let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe now so you're ready when Fire and Ash arrives. Born from a dead body, fathered by a planetary consciousness, and in control of the nature around her. If you think Kiri's power is impressive now, wait until she takes on Vang. So what happens when a girl who controls nature meets a clan that destroys it with fire? Let's get into Kiri and what you need to know before Fire and Ash. Origin and early life. Kiri was born in 2155, just 1 year after the First War. Her full name, Kiri Tsaheylu Kiresi Ite, carries the weight of her origins. Kiri as her given name, Tsaheylu from her adoptive father Jake's Navi name, Sheikh Suli, and Kiresi Ite meaning daughter of Grace, the Navi translation of Grace Augustine. As Jake explains, she was born of Grace's still living but comatose avatar body after Grace died in the 2154 conflict. No one knows who the father is. Her existence is treated as a mystery, described by some as a virgin birth, and by others as Eywa's will. Jake and Neytiri adopted her into the Sully family immediately. Kiri is about the same age as Neteyam. In The Way of Water, we even see flashes of their early days, when both infants were brought by Jake and Neytiri to the Tree of Souls for their first connection to Eywa, surrounded by the entire Omatikaya clan. She has both human and Navi traits, 5 fingers, soft eyebrows, and no elongated canines, marking her as a Navi-human hybrid like the rest of the Sully kids. She grew up among the Omatikaya, first in the remnants of Home Tree between 2155 to 2168, and later in the Floating Mountains. She lived shoulder to shoulder with Neteyam, Loak, and Tuk. Moat, her adoptive grandmother, guided her through Navi traditions, rituals, and healing arts, something we see in Avatar the High Ground. She spent much of her childhood alongside Spider, the human boy born just before the fall of the Home Tree. Together, they explored forests, observed animals, and learned survival skills. In High Ground, we even see them wandering Hell's Gate and venturing into dangerous old battlefields. To Kiri, Spider isn't just a friend, he's her brother. She's always the one fighting for his place in the family, even when Neytiri refuses. The comics show her inviting him into Sully celebrations, much to Neytiri's frustration. Is a Neytiri versus Kiri clash on the cards in Fire and Ash? Given Spider and Kiri's close relationship, it seems possible to us. Tell us what you think in the comments. When growing up, life in the Omatikaya clan included lessons, games, swimming, training and hunting, and navigating the forest. Kiri showed a consistent interest in the natural world and in the plants and creatures around her, often spending extended periods observing them closely, a practice we can see carried through into The Way of Water. This curiosity closely reflected Grace's passion for Pandora's flora. Unique powers and spiritual connection. As she grew up, Kiri's abilities and her affinity with Pandoran nature became more visible. Kiri tamed a mountain banshee, Ikran, named Tanhi when she was a child. Unlike other Omatikaya, she does not go through the standard Iknamaya trial with a banshee like we see Jake experience in Avatar. If you remember, that was a life or death moment for Jake. Instead, she simply approaches an Ikran and asks it to be her friend, and it accepts her. She also starts to ride earlier than typical Omatikaya teens, and her bond with the animal is presented as empathetic and effortless rather than relying on physicality. In The Way of Water, her close bond with Eywa becomes apparent very early on. After glimpsing her as a child in the opening montage with Jake's narration, teenage Kiri's first words sound strangely familiar and comforting. In case you didn't know, Kiri is voiced by Sigourney Weaver, who played Grace in the first movie. In essence, she is voiced by her mother. We hear Kiri debating with Moat, her grandmother, about the best remedy for war wounds. Kiri tells her, "I would use Yalna bark, because it is better, it stings less." Kiri makes sure to stay close to her mother, visiting her avatar body and looking lovingly upon her. She watches Grace's old video logs explaining the Pandoran ecology, again with reverence and love in her eyes. We hear her siblings make gentle jokes about who her father is, and we will come back to that later. Remember, if you're enjoying this video, make sure to give it a like. In one of the franchise's most beautiful sequences, we see Kiri in the Pandoran jungle at one with and in awe of the plant life and the animal life. Ato Karena gather as they did with Jake in the first movie, highlighting her significance to Eywa. As she sleeps on the jungle floor, she falls into a deep trance, and Spider struggles to wake her. She was communing with Eywa. Exiled to the Metkayina and the Second War, the Sully family then fled east to Awa-Atlu, the ocean home of the Metkayina clan, leaving the forest behind. From the moment they arrive, Kiri adapts to the ocean faster than any of her siblings. She swims and dives effortlessly, explores reefs, kelp forests, and coral groves, moving with grace and wonder among the ocean creatures. Her first encounters with the local animal life cement her place within the reef immediately, while the others, Jake, Neytiri, Loak, all struggle to bond with the sea creatures and perform Tsaheylu. Kiri's Ilu approaches her, and immediately they are a team. We then see her ability to command sea life, while Aronah watches on closely. The new trailer hints that she's only just beginning to understand the full extent of these gifts, and that they're set to shape the outcome of the coming conflict. But even surrounded by all the reef's beauty, Kiri feels out of place. The Metkayina children call her a freak. She tells Neytiri that she just wants to be normal, and she tells Jake that she knows she probably sounds crazy. They both, as good parents would, reassure her that she is perfect the way she is. Kiri's first encounter with the Metkayina spirit tree marks a dramatic turning point. She approaches the glowing tendrils carefully and performs Tsaheylu. She then experiences a vivid vision of grace where they embrace. She asks why she is different and what the Great Mother wants from her. And when she asks who her father is, the vision ends with a life-threatening seizure. Scans show unusual neural activity triggered by contact with the tree, but Norm's human science fails to save her. Rowanal's Eywa forward healing technique, on the other hand, brings her back to life. Many have theorized that her system was overloaded because she is an avatar of Eywa, and connecting to the tree was like plugging a power source into itself. What do you think about this theory? What if this wasn't a seizure? What if it was a download? We'll be getting deeper into Kiri and Eywa's connection shortly, so stick around. Kiri's abilities prove critical in life-or-death moments during the skirmish at the Three Brothers. She manipulates sea plants to snare enemy submersibles. One mini-sub pursuing Loak and Took is destroyed through her intervention, likely saving Loak's life. And as the Sea Dragon mothership sank, she sent glowing fish into the wreck to illuminate escape routes, bringing Neytiri and Took safely from flooded compartments. These actions show her near-symbiotic relationship with the ocean and its creatures, turning the tide in favor of her family. Kiri's father. There is plenty of speculation around who Kiri's father is and what the truth around her birth is. While we do not yet have any clear idea, it seems likely that Fire and Ash will shed more light on this. The latest trailer hinted as much, with Moat saying, "Tell her it is time." Although the children joke in The Way of Water that Norm might be the father, this seems very unlikely when you look closely at what we've seen. Firstly, it is fair to say that Grace's character in Avatar was beyond human childbearing age. Secondly, deleted scenes from the first Avatar film reveal that Norm was already taken. He and Trudy Chacon were romantically entwined for a short time before her death, and Norm does not seem the type to play the field like that. Also, Norm being the father is far less exciting than some of the mind-boggling alternatives. Could she be a clone of Grace herself? This would line up with the Kiresi Ite, daughter of Grace, naming convention. However, this seems unlikely to us, as it doesn't explain her powers. So if she isn't a clone and she isn't Norm's, could we be looking at a literal god walking among the Na'vi? Is she Pandora's messiah, Eywa incarnate? She certainly ticks many of the boxes: virgin birth with no known father, the ability to command nature, and perhaps even undergoing death and resurrection at the hands of the spirit tree. Kiri's role in the future. Looking ahead, Kiri's role is poised to expand significantly. The Fire and Ash trailers have already shown us that Kiri will play a crucial role in the new film, as she features prominently in all of them. We know that she will spend time with the Talem clan aboard their sky caravans, that she will get into trouble with Loak in the jungle again, and most crucially, that she will be taken prisoner by the film's new antagonist Varang, the Manuan clan leader. These so-called Ash people are believed to have rejected Eywa, and the trailer suggests they've formed an alliance with Quaritch and the RDA. That puts Kiri, a Na'vi hybrid born of a human's avatar, possibly the daughter of Eywa herself, at the heart of the struggle, between humans and the Na'vi, between spirituality and destruction, between the way of Eywa and the way of fire and ash. Kiri's life is defined by mystery, power, and destiny. As new threats arise from both darker Na'vi factions and the returning RDA, Kiri's abilities will be crucial for the survival of her people and the balance of the planet itself. If you enjoyed exploring Kiri's character in depth, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite characters and their stories. See you in the next video as we continue the fight for Pandora.